What a great day to ride my John Deere motorcycle. Some friends came in from out of town, one of which I knew had an R6, and the other completely surprised me with his new R6. He previously had a Honda CB500F. As I'm backing up the bike, Hayden, the one with the new blue R6, says this.
My second ever ride on this thing was driving here.
He then explained how he trolled me over text about buying it, and I didn't realize he had bought it.
This is why when I was texting you, Yamaha might be better, I was sitting on this.
Anyways, we're getting ready to leave the gas station, and I must have eaten some Butterfingers earlier and forgot. I point out where I wanted to exit. Timmons, the guy with the V6 Camaro, apparently had other ideas. I then turned onto the main road and did a quick small pull. This thing really sounds like a chainsaw, it's not even funny. Then the two non-lawnmowers rolled up behind me with completely amazing exhaust sounds. This quickly turned into a very mini rev battle, and I unleashed the mighty two-cylinder. Somehow, after starting off, I then managed to pass Owen's R6, which is probably the only time you'll ever see an R3 pass an R6. Naturally, of course, he didn't seem to appreciate that. Same with Hayden and his R6. I was then able to hear one of the most glorious mechanical sounds ever. Two R6s banging off the rev limiter. Even when their bikes were besides mine, I couldn't hear my own bike over theirs. Well, I guess it's not like it's very easy to hear an R3 with a slip-on exhaust anyways. Then we began to turn onto the highway. Since the road was a little wet, Hayden couldn't do a full lean. I made sure, still being somewhat of a new rider, to not lean too hard and to not give it any throttle in the turn. I knew better than to try to keep up with him and just kind of sat myself in the middle lane. I assure you my mighty two-cylinder would have trouble going over 45 miles an hour. The weather was really nice, so I took a moment to stick my arm out and enjoy the cool air. I somehow managed to catch up to Hayden, and I couldn't help but admire that beautiful first-gen R6. Again, I got to hear two R6s screaming at the rev limiter. It's such an amazing sound. We then pulled up to the turn at the local Cars and Coffee, and I remembered that having cruise control on a bike might be a nice thing to have. Then the two R6s and the all-powerful lawnmower parked in a very nice spot. After we've spent some time at the meet, we decided to get some food, but since I only have 2 brain cells, they took off while I put my gear on. And then because I'm an actual doofus, I forgot to put my phone back on the quad lock, so I had to pause and struggle to put it back on. I then got overtaken by a cruiser bro. Since I'm leaving the meet, I tried to do an actual pull, and then I began to find out why no one likes 300 cc's. I still don't want a faster bike though. I got stuck at this red light, and Hayden, Owen, and Timmons were already long gone. But then the cruiser bro pulls up again, so we have the world's most pathetic rev battle. I then attempted to do another pull, and I was later told that I looked very silly in full tuck because it hardly looked like I was doing a pull from another perspective a few cars behind me. Of course, they were already all there, so I had to give them a few revs. And then I got completely violated.
Hey, Kyle's here. I didn't even hear you pull up.
After we ate, I decided to let Timmons try to ride the R3, and his only experience riding a motorcycle was a Coleman mini bike.
See, I should have extra. Oh, you are much more simpler, like size stuff. Like, you might have to give a throttle.
Yep.
Yeah, probably gotta give it a little throttle. It's not a 600.
I then got violated again.
Did you start it again?
Yeah. Okay, so give it a little bit of throttle. You might have to. Yeah. How was it? Perfect start. Ready?
That was easy.
Yeah, this bike's a lot easier.
Anyways, this was definitely a really fun cruise.